What's wrong with SD? Well, a lot. Let's look at if you're a new person, for example, and you're coming to SD, you're looking for a new game, a strategy game, you think you're better than everybody else because you play strategy games, and this is, one of the top games out there that everybody keeps talking about. And additionally, you're into World War II. This is the perfect game for you. Well, you come in here, you're like, I want to learn how to play. Let's do the tactical tutorial. You decide, I'm going to do, it tells you about smart orders, first of all, and unit selection. How do you grab your units? Okay. I mean, if you don't know how to click Steam and open it up, then, probably don't know how to select your units. But I think everybody opened up the game knows how to select anything. C's and smart orders, as we're talking about here, like if you're experienced, this is terrible too. Smart orders get you killed. And we'll show that in a second. But like, go to reinforcement menu, like, how to like, these things can be built into the overall tutorial, but these aren't interesting things that are telling you how to be good at the game. They're not telling you about the line to sight. They're not telling you about how to build a deck properly. They're not telling you about how you need to learn the hotkeys and all this other nuanced stuff that isn't expressed whatsoever in any meaningful way in the tutorial. And it goes on: hold, smart order, deployment, victory, deployment, how to put your guys on the board, economy, phases, stuff like that. I mean, it's true. You don't really know that stuff, but like, you go to look at the battle groups too. You want to make a new battle group. It has like this stupid indicator where, rating A, ooh, more aggressive, I guess. B, more defensive, and then C, super defensive. And this has no bearing on gameplay. I mean, 5th Cav is one of the most aggressive decks you ever play with. I mean, it just has no bearing with anything, and it's really bad. And I'll show you this tutorial. Let's go to the tutorial right now. Tutorial is the worst. Select, this is the first tutorial. Select your troops. Okay, what do you do? It doesn't even tell you how. Let's say like you don't barely. I mean, yeah, everybody kind of knows. You just select and grab. And it's like, now use smart orders. Why? Why is it teaching you how to use these? All these orders except counter battery and fire will are good. Tells you seize order. You know what happens when you seize order? Look, what is this? Seize order. Okay, like, direct them. And you know what happens when you do a seize order, guys? Oh, I can't even. It does this like stupid thing where everything you click is a attack move. Give a seize order, moving down the rail. You're like, I'm a new player. This is what you want to do. You know what happens when you do this? I will show you what happens when you use seize orders and smart orders. This is what happens. Uh-oh. No. There goes all of this stuff. Oh. And even worse, he loses everything. That's what happens when you use smart orders, boys. And you know what? This isn't even the worst part about Steel Division. The maps are absolutely broken, and we'll go look at it. We'll go look at such great innovation of road development. You could tell that they put so much effort into making sure there was no pathfinding issues, as that's self-evident by gameplay. This is peak performance, Eugen. Peak performance. Look at this, guys. Roads. All right. You see this quick road right here? Just, straight road going down this area. Yeah, it makes sense, right? That's the road you would take. Nah. If I decide I'm going to call out a unit over here, or a tank, or an AA gun. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Instead of taking the nice clean road, whoop, 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 and then back. This is trash. Like, how do you not... Come on. Like, this is like... Can this pathfinding not be fixed, like, real quickly? This is definitely not quicker. Look at this. Like, let's say... Alright, we're late to the party. Let's buy this Panda 4. Oh, let's buy a Tiger tank. Okay? Oh, no. We bought it from the wrong road. No. Come on. No. Alright, comes down this road. Go down here. Let's, watch this. We don't need to watch. You see the point. Like, why are they coming this way? It makes no sense, and they just keep going. And this has been a problem forever. This hasn't been solved. These guys, Panagrams, are gonna beat them there. And these guys had like a minute start. Like, they're gonna come up the same spot, the same. It's just laziness. Like, it's as if they never tested it out, really. Or, I mean, it's been reported, but they never fixed it. Let's take another one right here. Ready? Okay, guys, look at another one. Ready? Okay, beautiful. You're like, hey, you're fighting in this area over here, right? You're on the right side of the map. Yeah, you're just fighting. You have this straight road here, and you're calling in some reinforcements. Calling in some guys. Yeah, some guys come up in the front, and instead of taking a normal road, this direct shot, the it's like, all right, let's go like this. Go here. Let's go here. Let's go here so that the enemy who should be right here is shooting at you. Then we'll cut back and then we'll go to the point, or we can just take a direct road. It's like, this is just laziness. And this has been the thing forever. It's been pointed out to Eugen as far as I know. I know the strike team has probably said stuff, but this is like not been fixed, and it's just frustrating to play on some of these maps, especially for 3v3. It's just like, come on. It's like you have to then micro back here to like tab them up, keep microing the front, and then go. It's just annoying as hell. And these things feel like they could be like a couple minute fixes. But I don't know. Like, did they not test all the roads and reinforcement roads? And this is just 2 maps. Like, there's tons more maps with more bug issues, and we'll look at them right now. Let's look at some of the line of sight that you can't see enemies. They can see you, but you can't see them. All right, now looking at the pathfinding and line of sight tool. Line of sight tool, pretty awesome. It's an amazing tool, but it's incomplete. Look at this Sherman right here. Can this Sherman see this Sherman? No, I can't. It's on all these same roads too. It's the same problem. These Shermans can't see each other, but guess what? They can if you actually take a look. They can actually see. They can even fire at each other. Like, look at this. Like, they're actually firing at each other, even though both of them say they can't. So, like, if you zoom in, it can. Just like, I don't know. The line of sight tool is broken. A lot of areas don't make any sense. You kind of have to zoom in and just know from experience. And this is really noob unfriendly. Every single time a new player comes in here, like, all right, I'm not sure where all the line of sights. They start cursing over. They can see that they can, they put an AT gun here or whatever, or they think that they can drive down this road because they can't be seen until around the corner. But in reality, you can't be seen, and only experienced players are gonna know this. And it's just, again, really unfriendly to newer players once again, like this entire game is. Moving on to the next thing. The next thing too is maps. It's crazy to me that they have this issue. Okay, you go to solo play. You want to play a scrimmage match, right? You just want to get some practice with the AI. Nobody wants to play with you because you're absolutely terrible right now and you don't know what's going on. So you go to a scrimmage and you get, this is all you get. These are the maps you get. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 maps, and the flag positioning isn't even what the flag positioning is in a multiplayer. It's absolutely stupid. Like, look, let's go over to multiplayer, for example. Go over to multiplayer. You want to host your own game, whatever you want to call it. You have all of these maps, and not only that, you have multiple types of the maps. You have the 2v2 version, you have the 3v3 version, 4v4. Look at the flag positioning. It doesn't even happen, and none of it makes sense. Like, how is a new player, like, you learn the maps, you start, playing against some AI, getting a little better, and all of a sudden now you join into multiplayer and all the flag positioning is completely different. There's maps you've never even seen. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Like, come on. Furthermore, where do you learn how to make a deck? There's no tutorial that I've kind of seen to make a deck. You have to go online. Like if you want to make a tank, what is an ideal 1v1 deck? What is an ideal 2v2 deck? What is a good 3v3 or 4v4? What's a fun 10v10 deck? What are the differences between 10v10s, 3v3s, and 4v4s, 2v2s, and 1v1s? Like, what are the big drawbacks of, those gameplays? Is 10v10s, for example, a very tight map. There's a time limit. It's different. It's completely different from all the other game modes. 3v3 and 4v4, for example, are much longer games. They last like way more extensively, more C-phase orientated. 1v1s and 2v2s are more early game orientated, and they're different than 3v3s and 4v4s. But there's no explanation for this unless you go online or you join some of the really great Discord communities that can help you out. And there's none of that, and it's just holding the game back from new players getting in. You show up to this game, right? Let's say you buy all the DLC, which is a lot of money, by the way. It's like $200. You have like 60-something divisions in this game. It's something crazy. And all of them can play different ways, and all of them are going to have to, depending on what game mode you're playing. And what? Like, where do you start? Where do you begin? How do you build a deck? There's no real guide in the Steel Division. And let's say you're not a guy like most people who don't want to join a Discord, doesn't want to really talk to people. You just want to get in, play, and you come in, you build your deck. Your deck is probably absolutely terrible, and you just get run over. You just get absolutely destroyed, and there's no chance for you to compete because of this the deck composition, or because you pick a deck that's really weak. Like I see a lot of guys come in here. They don't want to mess with any of the heavy tanks. They play Bactina here. They pick Bactina. They bring one card of tanks and B phase, and then they get run over by medium tanks because they got nothing. Like this is holding back the game extensively, and I just cannot emphasize that enough. Having no guides for some of these things and some of these quality of life things make both veterans and new players very upset. So we'll move on to even further things. One of the biggest things too with Steel Division that I just don't understand why it doesn't get fixed is off map. Like off map is one of the dumbest things in the game. It takes away from skill. It's a drop and forget. I've never. I think it's. I mean, I use it. I use it all the time. Like 97th, for example, another disgusting off map deck. It just is so broken. With like, you can just delete entire sectors. Like this off map right here, right? Let's say you're in B phase. You want your opponent to stop going down a road. You drop a long duration. It goes on for 9 minutes and like 30 seconds. I don't know why this is okay or like acceptable. Or this off map here just keeps going for 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Or you can just drop the normal volley and delete an entire frontage. It takes away from the skill base of the game. And people argue, hey, the biggest issue of the game is and why we need off map is because the lanes are so dense that you need to be able to break up things. Well, let's go to the maps, for example. Okay, we're on the map. All right, so off map. Okay, so if you're ever playing in a town, if you ever have, the few times you ever have experienced it, where both players don't bring off map, it's actually pretty fun. You're moving your infantry between buildings, maneuvering tanks. It gets pretty micro intensive, but it's really fun and interactive. But why do that when you can just drop this disgusting off map? Literally level this entire area. And guess what? You can get even more. We haven't even entered into B phase. I can drop another one, and some of my other decks have like 9 pieces of off map, which each of them get like 3 shots. It's just so annoying to play against. There is no like, it's annoying. I don't think you'll find anybody who's like, oh man, I love getting off map, and it's pretty lame. It's pretty boring. It takes away from all like the fun infantry combat and all these parts of the maps. Like the biggest thing is it ruins being in these lanes. Because you just know it's just become an off-map hellhole that you just get annihilated. And if you don't use off-map, you're putting yourself in a handicapped position. Because it's so effective. As we see it drop, killing everybody. And you're like, oh, that wasn't enough. I didn't kill enough tanks. Just drop another one. And the best thing is, too, all these guys suppressed. So all you have to do now is drive down these roads and you surrender all of these guys. Or, furthermore, there's heavy artillery that can actually delete every single unit in that pile. It's pretty lame and boring. I think it's kind of like every one of these guys suppressed. And now you just drive half tracks on the road and surrender everybody. Another thing, maps. Like, the biggest issue for 3v3s and 4v4s in the moment, and 10v10s in that fact, is how dense the lanes are. For example, on Lenina, these are your lanes. You have a lane player here. You have a lane player here. You have a player here who got the biggest lane. And then you have a player over here. Pretty tight. It's only like this guy's lane right here is literally less than 2 kilometers across. And why don't they expand the map a little bit? Like 2v2, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I mean, actually, my opinion is the only opinion that matters. So if you think otherwise, you're trash. But if you extended the map just to these areas, like let this road come in here, let us fight in this foresty area along the river here, add some flags on these locations, like one on here and one on this side, and then connect the road over here, or make this a reinforcement road, make it more interesting, expand the map a little bit. Over here as well, there's plenty of room. Maybe change it up a little bit, add a road over here for both players to kind of move over, add some flags, make it a little more interesting. We're pretty much opening up a whole nother open spot right here where you can have a flag in the open between the players. It'd be pretty cool. You can have pretty good gunfights over here, and it'd be really interesting. And it would also make the lane, like, it would just expand this lane right all the way over here. This player would be all the way over here. This player over here would have all this lane and make the map significantly bigger. And look, I think 2v2 is the perfect size. So let's go over there, for example, for 2v2. The perfect map, the 2v2. 2v2 lanes are the perfect size. They have just enough maneuverability where it's not so overwhelming, and it also allows you to also, like, you don't get, it's not static and it's not so mobile that everything kind of like is really fluid back and forth in every single spot. If you like that, 1v1 is a perfect game mode for that. But I think for the majority of people who play 10v10s and 3v3s and 4v4s and 2v2s, I think this is the happy medium between everything. It has plenty of maneuverability, plenty of areas you can push and make plays, and it also isn't too staticky and thick that it becomes, you know, the worst thing in the absolute world. I think this is perfect. Like, this is how it should be. The problem is right now is you have, and you could even make it a little bigger. Like, if you really wanted to, right? You have all of this room on the side. If you just put a road in here, like make it a forest combat, put a road over here, or there's already roads over here. Like, you could literally extend this over, and both players could fight in this location. And I don't know why they don't. And furthermore, like, let's look at the different maps right now. Let's take a look at them. So the maps, like, you have so many maps here. You got all these beautiful maps. You have, for example, let's just look at Shredrin, for example, a really good map in my opinion. You have a lot of lanes of different capability, but you have, let's just look at the map. So as we notice, the map rotates to the right. So this is the 1v1 lane, pretty big map. Then you go to the right, a little more over to the right, nothing on the left, a little bit more on the right, and even further on the right. But why don't they just make this a lane? Like, you could just cut this in half, like this map right now in half with my mouse. Just cut it in half, and this on the right could be a 2v2 map. Or you could cut it this way, and this will be a 3v3 map. It'll give you more variety and choices, and I think that's really good. You don't need to make any new maps. You don't need to do anything. You just need to just cut the maps in half, add some new content. It will make it so that people have more variety of play. Give us different maps of Shredder, and you can do this a whole bunch of different maps. It would really just double your map pool in a couple of minutes. Lenina, you can just, maybe if you want to make it a 5v5, extend the flanks. If you want to make it a 4v4, just extend the flanks and make it so people have a little more room to maneuver and fight. And you don't need to make a whole new map. Just extend it a little bit, make it a little more interesting. Cut the map in half and give us a new 2v2, or rotate the map like you did in Lenina for the 1v1. Like, you look at the map, it rotates. These are really cool things, and I like these things. But just do it. Like, come on, Eugene, please. SD2 gods, please do it. And then other issues, a really big issue. There's the last two things I'm going to complain about. Number one is why can I not pick the side of the map I'm on? I mean, honestly, like, is this a really hard option to give? Like, it's just random at the moment. Like, no matter what you do, it's randomized what side of the map you're going to get. This would be a nice quality of life for people. There's a lot of balancing issues. Some of the map sides are a little unfair, but maybe some people keep saying, "Oh, they're all the same." No, they're not. They're not. They can't be. It's impossible to make everything perfect. These maps are not exactly like parallel to each other. And then, come on, let me transfer units to each other. When I'm fighting on the other side of the battlefield, and you're hanging out, like in Meta War Solid Squad 2, an older game, a less developed game. If I need it, like, if I give some unit, I can just transfer units over to my teammate, and he can have them. That's a really cool thing, and I think it lets me, like, instead of having to micro the tank I sent him, he could micro it and just use it as his own, his own way. Or he has a supply truck I sent him, or he sent me a supply truck. He can just give me the supply truck, and I can do it. Instead of having to micro the whole map, especially on a huge map like a 4v4, or if you're playing a 10v10, you're trying to micro all these different areas, it would help so much. Or you're in the late game, your teammate runs out of stuff, you can give him some equipment. It would make everybody's experience a lot better. And, people maybe wouldn't leave the game because you give them some stuff and then keep playing. I just think some of these quality of life things, tutorials, and other things would really help the game. The one good thing that's going on for Steel Division is there's a really good Discord community that makes tutorials, has guides, assists people. You can join my Discord. It'll help you, give you some tips. There's a lot of experienced players in there. You also have the bootcamp server. You also have the SD League and official Discords. If you go to my Discord, you go to community links. All of them will be posted there. They're all great resources to learn out about the game if you're new. I really hope that maybe Strike Team or Eugen can propose or promote some of these things, help the game, move forward, because it really needs it at the moment. And At the moment, it just a lot of these, and it's not just this. There's a whole bunch of other things like 50 cals being broken, how they keep rotating the incomes, and how everybody's playing Maverick now in balance, and they've destroyed Vanguard. I just think they're not. It's not like they're not playing the game, you know. In a lot of ways, I feel that way. And there's not much communication. There's just those weekly dev diaries, but they don't really address what they're gonna do, what they're fixing, or what they're changing. A lot of lack of communication. So a lot of people that are really dedicated to the game are just kind of shut out of what's going on, and there's no communication. It's pretty rough to keep a game going for so long. If they really want the game to keep growing, doing well, succeeding, they really need to implement some of these quick fixes. These are like these fixes I talked about. Like, I don't think they're so complicated, especially like, fixing a pathfinding issue. Like, I feel like that's something in the code, just telling those units they should go that way. I mean, I'm not a computer science guy, but I can't imagine it's that hard. Or, I mean, I think something would be hard, like transferring units to each other. That'd be really difficult. But I think these things would help. Like, I just think they would help a lot. I think a tutorial would be really helpful. Like, right now the tutorial is absolutely abysmal. It doesn't help new players. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys leave a comments of what you think should also be fixed and needs to be adjusted. Because I think there's a lot of things wrong with the game. And there's a lot right in the game. And that's not what the video's about right now, obviously, the title of it. But the game does an amazing job of being a tactical strategy game. It's really great. There's so many positive things about it. I just really hope that they go a step further that will really help the game grow and become a success. Because at the moment, it's really hard with what we have. And there's no communication from their end. So I really hope that something changes. Oh man, look at this guy. He's fused inside the tank. His gun is fused within him. Oh my god, this guy. I didn't know Germans built their equipment to actually be inside the vehicles. I mean, look at these people's faces. Like someone didn't draw them out properly. Look at this guy. What's up with his mouth? Is that his mouth? What is happening? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh, what are these half tracks? At least the half tracks look better. Oh man, his feet are inside the vehicle. This guy, look at that guy in the back. Look at zoom in. Can't even zoom anymore. His feet is within the wall. He's not even tall enough to see outside the track. Oh man. Quality models, guys. Quality models. Ah man, sad. You guys know that Germans were so advanced, so ahead of their time, that the AT guns on this robotic vehicle did not even need a crew. They reloaded automatically. I mean, I know it's historically, right? The Pak-40 on the rear of this tank, no crew members, automatically fires at enemy targets. And it is quite one of the most impressive vehicles you'll ever see in World War II. What is that, Panzerjäger? I mean, guys, we don't even have this today. A robotic, like, anti-tank gun on the run, like, jeez. If only we had these, we wouldn't have to send troops out to war anymore. Hey, Eugen. I don't know if you guys forgot, but these are two pilots with the same face. I'm not sure. Are they identical twins? Is this legal? Are they allowed to do this? I'm not. No one looks that similar. Look at those hands. Look, what have they been holding up to? Oh man. Maybe they shouldn't allow us to zoom in this much.